Welcome to the TFO podcast, where guests get to give their thoughts, feelings, and opinions on a variety of subjects. This podcast is hosted by your very own Stacy Cook, and as always, sponsored by Fool's Guide Life Coaching. Follow me on all social media platforms. So give it up for our guest today. Yeah. If somebody met you today, they don't know your struggle. They're like, oh, there's Howard, Silver Spoon Howard, driving this car. That's what happens to me.
Never knew back in my day that same car, my father-in-law had put it in his name. I was making a payment, but I got pulled over, which I have before. You John? No, I'm not John. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, people don't see what they see. They don't understand the.
So yeah, you had a path, right? You walked your own walk. They have their own walk, but they have to start it. Standing in one place and pointing at everybody else and what they're doing and not moving doesn't help anybody.
It's a part of life.
It is.
And, whether you want to be a part of it, I guess that's up to you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the struggle.
Yeah. So it's people think, well, this person's this old, they should be much more mature than that. It doesn't come with age.
Absolutely.
It's opportunity to mature comes with age, but the actual maturity does not. You have to take that and do something with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I know 50-year-olds that still act like they're 15.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Get their money in there.
You know what I mean? I know 20-years act like they're 60.
Yeah.
Old soul.
He's an old soul. He got a pocket full of money.
And I learned a lot from the younger generation. Yeah. I learned a lot from all three of my children. I learned a lot from their friends. A lot of them are entrepreneurs and trying to go out there and get it. So I learned a lot from them, and they learned a lot from me. So
the young kids have this passive income thing figured out.
They really do, and they're on it.
Yeah.
And you almost have to have it. So one of the reasons why I started the credit situation was, one, to help myself, right, and help my family. And the second thing was, two, for tax purposes. I wanted an in-home business.
Right.
And that was one of the things that, I could set up one of my rooms, an office, and write off a part of my house.
Right.
So that's another reason why I did that, and you need that additional income too as well. So it's something I recommend for everybody, not necessarily the credit business.
Right.
It's not what you're into, but there's a lot of different things that you can do out of the home. Make some passive income, help yourself on taxes, a few extra write-offs and things of that nature. I've lost a lot of friends the last couple of years, so nobody know where anybody's time is. So don't think you got all this time.
Right.
So
that's interesting, right? Because you got to live in the moment, but you still have to prepare for later because a life of an old person with no savings is pretty bad as well.
Yeah, go to Walmart, see them all the time.
Yeah.
Some of them are there because they have to be.
Right.
And some of them are there maybe just to pass time, but
don't want to have to.
You don't want to. And that's what I'm saying. You mentioned earlier before we got on on the podcast that what's enough money.
Yeah.
Well, I want to have enough money where I ain't got to be there at 60.
So I have enough money to kind of do the things that I want to do.
Right.
So now it's how do I help other people? Same for you. You get these people, it's like, you don't have to be in this kind of debt. I can help you with this.
Right.
Breathe a little bit. Right. Just give me a little bit of time and we can make those things happen.
And I tell people, you got to want it better, worse than I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't want it for you.
Yeah.
And people that really want to make a change, they'll do something.
Yeah.
And those who don't, man, let's sit around and talk about it. Those are the ones, in time just push away from them, because all those people do is going to bring you down at some point. So.
I would say I can't care about this more than you.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't care about your success more than you do. You have to care about it more than me. It's right? It's hard as that, right?
Right.
So, who's your biggest success story? Tell me about that.
You know what? I had a good friend, and when I got into the business, I was always, the friends and family, talk to your friends and family. And so he was one of my good friends, so I was harping him on it, and he was, nah, man. And so eventually, he said, fine, I'll do it. So within 90 days, he had a 126-point increase.
Wow,
from
that's
where
crazy.
He was at.
Yeah.
And everybody's credit profile is different. So he had a lot of old stuff that was aged and should have been off the credit anyway, but it just was still there lingering on. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Just because you pay off a debt doesn't mean that it's removed from the credit. So, and the only way you know that is by staying active on your credit profile, maybe every 2 years, pulling your credit report and seeing where you're at. So.
And they do have pull it for free in some different places, right?
Yep, freecreditreport.com. Get one a year.
Do you think people see credit as important as maybe you and I would? Do you just really think?
Absolutely not. They don't see it important.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just really not. And it's so much you can do with credit, and people don't understand. Let's just say maybe you like to fly, right? And you go get you a 0% card, and you put all your monthly expenses on that card. Now you accumulated XYZ points for miles.
All right.
People don't understand that stuff. So credit works for you in a lot of ways. You can actually use credit, good credit as a business. They go what they call trade lines. You know, if you got maybe a lot of time on a credit card with a decent credit limit, you know, they have websites where you can put that stuff on there, and people will buy just to be put on that particular card.
Oh wow.
They don't get the card,
right?
But they just need it for that boost. Maybe they're trying to buy a house and they're 20 points light or whatever they're trying to be. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with credit.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing with me and my wife is, like, you know, we got a grandbaby in Florida, so we make sure we have credit cards that has miles for flights, and I have, you know, for hotels, you know, where we like to stay, and we make sure that we pay that particular credit card off every single month.
Right.
So if I pay my light bill or whatever, I got it automatically on one of my credit cards, and every 30 days that credit card is paid off. I accumulate my points, and that points turns into money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real simple.
To you, it's simple. To other people, that just sounds crazy.
Yeah, it don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're spending the money anyway. What's the point of taking all the cash out of your account and not getting anything out of it? But put it on a credit card, at least you're getting some points, so it'll help you on your flights or your hotel stay.
I think people have figured out how to work around so many different things. If they don't have a credit card, they'll have somebody else rent them a car or get them a room, but then they tear the room up and
they're responsible
car or something.
So the person that put themselves in that situation, you know, they're probably not. I shouldn't say they're not the smartest individual, but my first thing is liability. Now, what you mean? Now, if I put my name on here and you don't tear something up, maybe they're coming back to me, right?
Yes.
No, then I'm not doing that. Same thing like co-signing.
Talk about how you can protect your credit from these people, because kids, they at your heart. You know, if they come to you and ask you for something, you feel like you're obligated to do those things, right? And some of your friends feel that same thing. They come to you and they feel like, man, you're my boy, you're not going to do this for me.
Right.
How do you have those discussions?
The biggest thing is authorized user. Kind of like those trade lines. So, you know, as your child gets older, you know, about the age of 15, 16, I got to check and see exactly what age, you can put them on your credit card as an authorized user. Therefore, they're building credit as long as you're responsible adult, right? You can jack their stuff up too. As long as you're responsible with that credit card, they're building credit. That way, when they turn 18, they might not need you for that co-signing, because you know how it was when you get your first car. Unfortunately, if you didn't have that stuff established, your parents didn't establish that, you had to have a co-signer of some sort. And if you was a responsible child, your parents thought you was responsible, they did it for you, and they made sure you paid it. But if they were having problems with you,
that's right.
They were like, oh no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, you making that call, trying to talk to your kids.
Oh, I did it bad. I've done that. But what hurts too, when you call one of your buddies or family member, they're like, no, I ain't doing it for you. You're like, oh man, punch it to death. Yeah,
so then you start looking back at your own situation and say, you're mad at the wrong person.
Yep.
It's not them. It's not them. They got their ducks in a row and you want some, and they say no, and then you're mad at them. You really should be looking at yourself and saying, man,
I need to make a change. I need to do something different. And that's what happened to me. You get tired of asking people. Even though you had good credit with me, they're like, oh, I know you're going to pay it. But yeah, it's just embarrassing. You just get tired of it. And if you call yourself a grown-ass man, you know what I mean?
For you, do you feel like you have to go out and solicit people to be your clients, or do you have people that come to you? How does that work?
One of the things I have been lacking, I need to go out more. As I told you, I'm a full-time project manager, so that consumes a lot of my time. But what I would like to do is to have my credit repair money outweigh my full-time job. But I need to go out and solicit more. I need to be at more programs around the community and just be there and just let people know the information is here. You know what I mean? And if you follow me at Howard Hawthorne on Instagram, I'll put sometimes free information as far as on credit, credit tips and things of that nature too as well. YouTube again, got plenty of information out there where people doing the exact same thing that I do. But just keep in mind, it's not necessarily repairing the credit. Is learning how money works.
I fall in the same category as you. I have a full-time job that I do pretty well at that job. That's how you are, right? So that's what you are. Right. How much of that comfort stops you from being able to really do this, your other business?
That's a great question, because what happens is, once you get to a certain income bracket, you start to kind of, not put it on cruise control, but you get comfortable. And I think that was what my problem was, it's like, well, I'll help the ones that, that might hit me up if I make a post or something like that. I'm not really going to be out reaching out to people, 'cause I got a little discouraged, like, man, these people don't have bad credit, so be it, I'm just going to live my life. But it's just not the, it's just not the right way to look at it. I need to be out there and trying to help people. And just the more they see me, the more they see what I'm saying, and then hopefully they would jump on board. When I originally got in this business, I wanted to build a massive team, because what I tell them, if I want to change 1 million families, right, I can't do it by myself.
You can't do it by yourself.
So I need a community to help out. The biggest thing is just do something. For those who out there might be struggling with credit or finances, more than welcome to reach out to me, but do something. You don't want to do business with me, do business with somebody.
Yeah.
And I know everybody can do it themselves. I know it. But if you ain't done it yet, I'm going to probably assume it ain't going to get done. So the best thing to do is try to find somebody out there that can help you out. Cut some of those habits, unfortunately, if you can't afford it, I get it. But if you want to sit down and we can analyze all your bills and what you got going on, you'd be shocked at what you got going on nonsense, that might help justify that, that monthly payment that you have to pay to get that service.
There are people that have never worked, right? They've lived off of state aid, they've lived off of, whatever help that they can get. And at some point in life, we want to get out and do something with ourselves, right? We get a real job,
right?
Get off of all those things, and we're going to start trying to get started. They might not have any credit at all.
Right.
They might just be at the very beginnings.
Right.
What are some good ways for those people to just start trying to establish credit?
There's a couple different ways. They have the credit cards where you can go and put a small balance on them.
Okay.
Use your particular money to build credit that way. Another way is hopefully you got a family member and might put you on one of their credit cards. You don't have to have the card, but just put you as an authorized user. That'll help you too as well. And if you have a little bit of money, a lot of times you can go to a credit union and you have like $500 in a savings account. You can request a $500 loan, and they can hold that $500 in the savings account as collateral and build your credit that way too.
Yeah.
As well.
What about everybody gets their taxes? It's tax time, and they're about to go turn up.
You already know what they're gonna do.
So what advice would you give some of those people?
All debt needs to be paid, right? But sometimes a debt can affect your credit score, and you can pay that debt later, but you can get it removed off your credit now.
Okay.
Right? So, not saying that you don't pay your debt, you gotta pay that debt, but I'm saying if it's weighing down your credit score, then I'll get my credit fixed, get that stuff removed. Now you can go back with whoever the debt collector is and try to sell it, maybe on half of it, or whatever the situation may be, or make some type of payment plan. So, invest that little money to help yourself. And I know with our company, we have a referral program. I tell people all the time, how many times have you referred somebody somewhere and you get nothing for it?
Right.
Our company actually gives you a bonus. So that's another way how you can get your credit fixed for free. If you refer 5 people, you can get yours done for free.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the first month.
The people that get the biggest tax returns usually make the least amount of money.
Right.
And those folks usually have the least amount of education on financial literacy. And so then they get big money, and then a few months later they don't have it. So.
And that's sad, if you really think about it. But then if you notice the rich, those are the ones that are making all this money and they're not paying any taxes,
right?
Paying very little taxes, and those are the type of people we want to try to get ourselves around, at least figure out what the blueprint is.
Exactly.
One of those things is starting in home business or something of that nature where you can get some of those tax write-offs.
It's interesting. These people are open books. I don't ever run into anybody that knows some kind of a secret and that they're unwilling to tell me. Learn from people that don't know about finances. How to do your finances doesn't help. You need to surround yourself with some people
just a little bit smarter than you, or know a little bit more. They might not
at least about that, right?
It's about that,
right?
Exactly.
That, that's what you're trying to learn.
Yep.
Well, the first step is admitting that somebody knows something more than you about any topic.
Oh yeah.
And then once you get over that,
get over yourself.
Yeah.
Get over yourself first.